should say too, when you're doing your research online in these sort of areas, there will be particular areas like technical bibliographies with us or similar things. So if you go to the understandingconservation.org website that I mentioned earlier, that's got resources around bibliographical material. I'm not sure if, has Ingval's stuff come onto that yet? I can't remember.
Well, if you go to the COTAC site, COTAC is the Council for Training in Architectural Conservation, you will find a link there to the digital bibliography. So there's the first tranche of it is there.
Yeah. Okay.
The next stage of the video stuff, we're trying to get some,
further down.
the UC school
Yeah.
and all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
which is another development of understanding conservation. The aim is to get some funding for that. So
we'll be looking at a number of the links at the end of this talk, and COTAC is very important. It underpins the understandingconservation.org website. It basically wrote it as it's at the lead in the partnership of professional bodies, and it's building up a very important body of resources around that. Generally, you'll find these are complementary though, and I think we would probably move towards a more policy-linked sort of approach or detailed technical stuff. The understandingconservation.org has its sort of particular focus alongside COTAC. And it is a bit of just getting to know these different resources, because there's history to the conservation sector, and you know, if you're looking for your information for your dissertation or your project, you know, knowing where these different threads are coming from is really important, and makes life easier for you, and that's one of the things that you would want to sort of be aware of in those terms. Just very briefly then on to the next link in the self-starter is the online networking. Do you, Alison, just wanted to, you've been talking a little bit on that this afternoon. Maybe just say hello and say briefly. Facebook we have.
Yeah, Sean's already mentioned a lot of these, but my role is as a news blogs consultant, so I write the news blogs every week if you have a look at the resources that Sean was talking about, but also I do the social media for some of the events that we do. So the IHBC tweet thing is something I'm very keen on. I notice a few of you have already been looking at it, so thank you. So we want to get
at you too, I suppose.
Yeah, we want to get news out there about the good news about conservation and heritage, basically. So as part of the digital conservation networks, that's one way of finding out information, but also raising your own profile in a sort of digital, professional kind of way. Not everybody wants to be on social media, and that's totally fine, but it is a good resource to look at as well. Even if you don't use it actively yourself, if you want to kind of explore it, there's a lot of information out there, especially on the IHBC pages, but there's lots of other organisations who work in heritage conservation and other universities and technical research bodies that publish information online. So our resources, we share a lot of other people's information, but also if you find good stuff, send it in and we'll promote it and send it on as well. So I'll say a bit more about later about ways that you could maybe think about sort of boosting your own professional footprint if you're into social media.
Or even having it as a resource, even if you're not,
just looking things up.
It's a thread that can be important.
Yes, you don't have to be online, but if you do want to be, then I can help you out with that.
Thanks, Alison. And I'll also be talking about research resources as well this afternoon too, in terms of all more sophisticated ways than we've touched on here for doing that. Other areas that we try to kind of get awareness of in support of the sector and learning in the sector is things around awards and funding, which I've mentioned, and there's a specific link covering that there. For us, really important, and I think for you, is the Gus Astley Student Award, which runs annually, and we encourage that all our conservation course directors network know about it, remind them each year. It's got a dedicated website there, and it includes important research resources on it, as well as giving the background. They encourage you all to think about submitting. You don't need to do much. It is coursework that it takes, so you just submit coursework. We try and keep life as easy as possible for people. And then we have a guest judge each year, and this year it's actually May Kasara, in fact, this year. So we actually have a kind of link to get the key sector players in to go and look at what students are doing and make what is ultimately a personal assessment, because it's comparing apples and oranges, whatever they are. it's comparing quite different sort of submissions, and then they come up with awards, and the awards include £500 cash for the winner, and various places at the IHBC's annual schools for the other people who are sort of recognised in that. But, so bear that in mind, but more important in terms of the research side is that we have at this stage a listing of the submissions that have been made over the 8 or 10 years since 2007. They will come up to 2015 quite soon. So you can check through on submitted material, you can do a search facility on that. And again, that might give you resources for your own research interests for your conservation course. We have sort of testimonials and things that cover that area too. We also have there a discussion, in our self-starter, a very, I think, introductory discussion into the issues around standards and entry processes, and it links you back to the main website pages. Kate.